Alright, so here are my picks for WEC 53. We're not gonna go in depth for the undercard. I'm just gonna basically say who I picked to win. So, here goes. I picked Ricardo Lamas. I think he'll finish, Alcantara pretty quick in the fight. Lamas uses wrestling instead of takedowns, and I think he should finish him via ground and pound. Probably first round. Eddie Wineland, crazy striker. I love the way he strikes. So unorthodox and really crisp boxing. So I got in the first round, second round TKO, we'll say. And I'll pick Carousel by decision. Castillo, decision. Maybe TKO. Not really worried about those fights too much. Zhang Tiquan, I'll take him by decision. And then these fights I really care about: Menjivar, Pickett, Palashevsky, Shalers, and on. I think Pickett should win this one, although Menjivar is very crafty, both on the feet and on the mat. I think Pickett's striking is just a little tad better than Menjivar's. And you have to consider Menjivar hasn't fought in, I think it's 4 years? 3 years. Not too sure. And, I mean, Pickett is, it's a top 15, bantamweight. I mean, he put, a good fight with Scott Jorgensen, so you have to consider that. And I think Pickett should finish Menjivar a second round. And, Menjivar's taken too much time off, his age. I mean, he hasn't been relevant in the division, and Pickett has. I mean, Pickett's right up there with the best in the world, so, I mean, I gotta take Pickett in this one by probably second round TKO. I think he'll stop all Menjivar's takedowns and land some big shots standing and hurt Menjivar. Even though Menjivar's a tough guy, I think Pickett will finish him. The second fight of the night between Palashevsky and Shalers. I don't like saying this because I think Palashevsky is a very technical striker, but Shalers has the power. And he has a good chin. He could get rocked by Varner, but he still has a very tough chin. And I think that makes the striking even because Palashevsky may be more technical, but Shalers has more power. And Shalers likes to duck his head and wing wild punches. So, I mean, Palashevsky is a tough guy, but Shalers could catch him standing. But where this fight really makes a difference is Shalers' wrestling. He can probably take down anybody in the lightweight division, except for Gray Maynard. So, I mean, you have to consider that when picking this fight because Shalers has that option. Even though he doesn't use his wrestling, he still has that option to take guys down every round. But the thing about Palashevsky is he's a very crafty guard. He did submit Anthony Pettis, which, I mean, pretty good thing, right? And he's also submitted Karen Deravidian. I think that's his name. Can't really remember how to pronounce it. But the pick here has to go to Shalers. I think he'll get takedowns every single round and just outscore Palashevsky. I mean, on the feet, he might even rock Palashevsky. You never know. But the thing that Shalers has that's a really X factor in this thing is if he uses wrestling. I think he will on a decision. The next fight, former champ Jamie Varner takes on Shane Roller. People say that wrestling is gonna even each other out. I don't think so. I think Roller's a way better wrestler, considering that he is Division I NCAA All-American, and Varner, I think Varner was only Division II. I'm not too sure. I'll check up on that, but I think Roller is he's a little bit more of a pedigree with wrestling. Another thing to note here is Varner's striking is a lot better than Roller's. Roller did connect a few times on Pettis, but Varner is the kind of guy who's got crisp boxing. He really pays attention to his boxing skills. The pick in this fight has to go to Varner. I think he'll stuff the majority of Roller's takedowns, even though I do think Roller's a lot better wrestler. Varner's defensive wrestling is very good. So, given that, and given Varner's advantage in the hands, I think he should pull this one out against Roller. But, Varner's very hot and cold. We'll have to see which Varner shows up. If he shows up as the guy who finished Marcus Hicks and the guy who, put Hermes Franco in a tough fight when Franco was one of the best in the world, I mean, we'll have to see. Or if he's going to be the Varner that showed up against Ben Henderson and when he got UD'd by, what's his name, the Cowboy. So, I don't know. I think Varner will show up in this fight. I've always liked Jamie Varner. He's a very good, well-rounded fighter. So I really hope he shows up in this fight. And he matches up with a lot of UFC lightweights. So, I mean, this is an interesting matchup. Next fight, Cerrone and Horodecki. I like Chris Horodecki, actually. I started watching him in the IFL and he was like a 17-year-old, and, he always came to bang. And, if you look at him now, he's actually getting very well-rounded. His wrestling's very good. His submissions are very good. So what was his transitions, actually? And, the thing with Cerrone is, Cerrone's weak spot is his wrestling. He has great jiu-jitsu. very good off his back, and he has very good stand-up. Another thing you have to consider here is Cerrone is also a little bit taller. I shouldn't say a little bit, he's 3 inches taller. And he should have an advantage in experience. So, and they share one common opponent, Ed Ratcliffe, and Horodecki, pulled it out with a split decision. It was a close fight. And Cerrone, I wouldn't say dominated, but he did win that fight. It was a little more clear cut for Cerrone than it was for Horodecki when he won. So, given that, I have to give the advantage to Cerrone here. I think he'll outstrike Chris Horodecki, and his grappling is a lot better on the mat. I think maybe Horodecki will get a couple takedowns, but Cerrone will just keep threatening with triangles, arm bars, sweeps, and everything. I think he'll pull it. It won't be a split decision, but it'll be very close to UD. Maybe 29-28. I think Horodecki will run around, but the pick here is Cerrone. And then for the UFC bantamweight title, we got Dominic Cruz and Scott Jorgensen. Big fight here. But there's not much to analyze here. I mean, Jorgensen has a good power, good chin, good wrestling. Okay? He's very aggressive, and when he sees blood, he goes in for the finish. Look at him against, I think it was Chad George. Look at that guillotine. That was deadly. And then we got Dominic Cruz on the other side, who's very elusive. And he mixes up his strikes very well. And he mixes up takedowns, actually. He's very good in the clinch, and he's very good takedown defense. So my pick here has to be with Cruz. I think he'll outstrike Jorgensen and make him look really bad on the feet, I think. I don't think this Jorgensen has much to offer Cruz on the feet. This fight's going to come down to whether Jorgensen can get takedowns. I think Cruz should win that bout there. He should be able to stuff takedowns, and he should even get a couple of his own with his elusiveness. So I got to pick Cruz by unanimous decision, and hopefully he'll continue that battle, because I like Dominic Cruz. I think he's one of the best fighters in the world, and hopefully they'll continue to have the title for a long time. And then a lightweight clash for actually a UFC title shot between Henderson and Pettis. Now, I looked on Sherdog earlier, and they picking Pettis by 4th round TKO. And I have to disagree with that, because I think that Henderson's just going to grind him out. I mean, Henderson's the kind of wrestler that grinds you out. He doesn't lay on you. He grinds you out. He makes you want to leave. So I think Henderson's going to push the pace on Pettis on the mat, work some ground and pound, and eventually I think he might stop Pettis late. Pettis has never been to a 5-round fight. Henderson's been to, I think, 3 now. And I mean, I think Henderson's just a lot better fighter. Honestly, not on the feet, maybe not as crafty as Pettis is, but he's got the better wrestling, and his submission awareness is very good. So the pick here is Henderson by, I'm going to say 4th round TKO. I think he should finish Pettis by ground and pound. Maybe even get the half guard and just finish him from there. I just think Henderson's he's a top 10 lightweight. I don't care what anyone else says. He will get there, and whoever wins that fight between Maynard and Edgar has got a really tough test in Henderson. So those are my picks for WEC 53, and it's going to be a good card. So for all you guys thinking, WEC's, not top tier guys, watch this card. You will be impressed. Trust me. Ciao.